Welcome to episode 2 of MTS Beginners. So let's see, yesterday we left off with our base getting raided and almost getting wiped off of the map on day 1, just a few hours in a wipe. And today we will be going over day 2 of Beginners. So once I logged back in the next day, we started building out our pillar a little bit more. We had hatch frames, we had turrets. I felt a lot more protected. Getting in and out of that base was such a pain in the ass. Like, if you came from below, someone had to come pick you up, or you had to like parachute down and then run across the map to a drop. Life pre-transmitter is such a pain in the ass. But, you know, you make do with what you got until you get the boss fight done, right? So yeah, we were just building out that base, farming up, tamed a couple of doeds, so we get that stone going. And we just went on a ton of stone and metal and flint runs while we were waiting for the tribe to all get on and get shit ready for boss fights. Went over and messed with our next door neighbors, Team Rocket, a couple of times. Since they'd raided us, I wanted revenge, and basically I would just go over and try to snipe their teams whenever they weren't looking, just to be the most petty little pain in the ass possible. And pretty much I set a timer, and every 30 minutes I would just go to their base and fuck with their shit. They'd chase me off. They'd fuck with their shit. They'd chase me off. I'd comp their rhinos or something, but
Can you stop?
on this point right here, I was trying to shoot this rhino and having a hard time hitting it. Like, if I could have gotten hit markers, then probably would have killed it, but I wasted so many arrows. When they came out to engage me, their sniper BP was shredding me. Like, my Pteranodon was almost like 4 shot by their BP. And they chased me off with the wyvern on this last run, and I ended up making it home with like 1 stamina. Like, barely made it. Like, all it would have taken was that wyvern sneezing at me and I would have died. We ended up going on a real fat wood run. We built a motorboat and put some auto turrets on it, dropped some fabricators, and ended up driving towards the swamp. With a theory and the boat, you just kind of like drive up and whack the trees. The trees are super condensed together. You just get a ton of wood really fast. And since I don't think you can put a loadout mannequin on a boat, we ended up using the fabricators to kind of dump multiple slot caps of wood. But once we were done, we went back to base. And like I said, living in that base was a pain in the ass because getting resources into it was such a bitch. You had to like transfer tool it to like a staging mannequin, and then a secondary staging mannequin, and then into the base and into the forges. But yeah, life pre-transmitter fucking sucks. So yeah, now that we had all the tames and we had most of the tributes for doing Alpha Ragnarok, it was time to go get the artifacts. Now, I know how to get easy artifacts on a regular server cluster. There's usually artifacts that are just kind of like out in the open or easy ones to get, but since we were on this modified cluster with the center, Ragnarok, Extinction, and the island, it was a bit more difficult to get these artifacts because some people were built in caves, and they were in spots that I'd previously not gone to. So I had to go and learn how to get artifacts again on these maps, because these aren't the maps that I usually go to for this. That being said, I tried to get the first few artifacts out of Life's Labyrinth, and quickly realized that, you know, without a tech suit, without a Sonoma Crops, which we weren't allowed to have Sonoma Crops because we didn't have access to Lost Island. We did get access to one Sonoma Crops if you were a premium member, but, you know, that thing starved to death on like day one. So doing that without climbing picks would have been kind of impossible, so we had to figure out another way to get those artifacts. I ended up going to Lava Golem to get the Hunter artifact, and fuck, it wasn't there. Every time I've gone to Lava Golem, the artifact's there, but the one time I go in my life to get the artifact and not even do the Lava Golem, the artifact's not there. And I don't know if you know about MTS, but on MTS, Lava Golem is pretty much, you know, the predator watering hole. Like, this is where everybody goes for PvP. Everybody's going for blueprints. Everybody's just camping it with everything you can think of. It's a PvP nightmare. And it's like, yo, I'm not even trying to PvP. I'm just trying to PvE right now. But the artifact is like smack dab in the middle of the PvP hot zone, right in front of the entrance to the Lava Golem cave. But yeah, artifact wasn't there. I ended up camping that artifact for like a fucking hour, and the thing wouldn't respawn. I reconnected, I disconnected, I came back, nothing. That thing would not come. People were picking that thing up on cooldown, and it really sucked because on our cluster, it was like the only place to get that artifact. I ended up giving up. I ended up getting killed by a couple players because I had reconnected, and when I logged back in, my character was standing up instead of prone, so these people saw me in my little hidey spot, and they came down and killed me because I made it a point not to go in there with a full PvP kit because I don't go to Lava Golem because it's too laggy, and 9 times out of 10 I'll just fall into the lava. Every time I go to Lava Golem, PvP or not, I die to lava. I don't even die to players. I die to falling in the lava. I'll be parachuting along my merry way, and the next thing you know, I'm just kind of like desinks in the lava. It's a nightmare. So I have a rule with my tribe that I won't go in there. I will camp outside with the theory. I will go in all the way to the point where you get to the lava, and that's where I stop. But I don't go in there because on MTS, unfortunately, the servers are like across the world, and the lag in there is just atrocious. But yeah, so I died. I ended up coming back a few hours later and finally getting the artifact. But fuck, man, these servers and this beginners cluster really sucked because the artifacts were kind of locked behind bases, or, you know, just so contested that they were like barely ever there. But, you know, we finally got it after hours of waiting for the artifact to respawn, and we were able to start the boss fight. So now that we had the tributes and the attributes and the thingies and the thingamabobs to do the boss fight, it was just a matter of waiting for the tribe to come online. We were hoping to get 6 out of 8. We ended up getting 8 out of 8, which was really cool. So yeah, once everybody was online, we prepped rhinos. We had a bunch of wild tame rhinos. We had a bunch of prim saddles because we could not get a blueprint to save our lives. And we went to the closest drop to our base to start the fight. And it's funny because it's like right underneath the nose of Team Rocket. We did the boss fight like literally right outside their front door, which was kind of sketch. But yeah, so while we were putting the attributes in, we got spotted, and some dudes tried to third party our boss fight. Unfortunately for them, they didn't really survive that long, but yeah, we started the alpha dragon boss fight. You know, now that we had Dragon done, it was done. All of us were kind of worried that we were going to get C4 camped and turret camped outside of the boss fight, but to our surprise, nobody attacked us when we came out. And we escaped with our element and upgraded our base to the tech tier. It was beautiful. But yeah, so now that we had transmitter, you know what that means? That means we could get off this stupid fucking pillar and move into a real base and play like real ARC players. So we moved into the Pearl Cave right in front of Easy Underwater on the island. We built out a decent crafting station and got our base secured, and I felt so much better, so much safer living out of general eyesight of the world off of that pillar. I took a screenshot of our little pillar base to say one last goodbye, and then it was just a matter of relocating resources to our new spot. Trip after trip after trip of transmitting and dumping and transmitting and dumping from our old base to our new base. One of my favorite things about this wipe so far is that when we lived in that little starter base before the pillar, we moved to the pillar, right? And instead of taking and deconstructing the entire base, we just left the shell there with like one or two turrets and then moved over. Team Rocket ended up raiding that, and they got nothing. And so it's like, I get it, you know, you're having fun, you're raiding a base, and it's like, fuck you guys, but it's like, you raided nothing. So when we moved from the pillar to underwater, I left a gigantic bulletin board that said profitable raid in the empty base, and we left like 4 heavies there defending the base, right? This is Team Rocket raided us again, and when they got inside, there was just a gigantic billboard that said profitable raid. So I thought it was funny that Team Rocket raided our base both times and raided empty bases that we'd moved out of. Like, felt like a crab leaving a shell behind. They're raiding the empty shell. It's like, oh, the crab's gone. He's got a new base now. But yeah, we moved into Easy Underwater. No more fucking pillar. They raided us that night, and it's just like, haha, we're not there anymore, fuckers. But you know, it's ARC. That's what people do. And that's the end of episode 2, day 2. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed creating this and looking back on all the footage and stupid mistakes I've made. I've been having a blast making these videos. I really hope you enjoy and like and smash the like button. Anyways, like, subscribe, do all that fancy stuff, and I'll try to get video 3 out as soon as possible.